Hey everyone, with World's Strongest Man creeping up just around the corner, I thought I'd do a event prediction, event by event, talk about what I think I'm capable of, and put it all out there. I'm not the type of person to be worried about failing. I'm not the type of person to hold things back and keep it a secret. I'd rather put it out there and see if I can live up to my own expectations. So, yeah, we're 13 days out now. Body's feeling good. I feel healthy. Definitely nervous system needs some time to recover now, and accounting for that in training. And people don't understand. The hardest part of doing this whole thing is the neural fatigue you get from 3 weeks out to 2 weeks out. It's usually the worst. And things like staying awake during the day, motivation to do anything, it all just ticks downwards until you allow yourself that time to rest and recover. So I'm really happy to be there. And be there injury-free, which a lot of people can't say. And at the moment, I don't even have any niggles. There's no little things that I'm tending to. I'm really rearing to go. Really excited. So events. I'm going to go through each day. I'll talk about where I think I'm going to place. Of course, we don't know the groups at the moment, so I'm just going to guess, really based on what the groups are normally like, and then we'll go from there. Now, all of these are obviously predictions. It's based on what I know I'm capable of, what I've done in the gym, and maybe I'll underperform, maybe I'll overperform, but this is where I think I'm going to stand. So the first day is the loading medley. Now, an overarching common theme that's going to go on through all this is I don't train at a traditional strongman gym. Unfortunately, there's not one in my area. I've done really well to get as many implements in as possible. But there's a lot of events that I just can't really train properly, and the loading medley is one of them. So I've been working with sandbags and making the most of that, but obviously no kegs, no anvils, no platform to load them on. So that being said, I move pretty well. I've got up to the maximum weight, so the loading medley will be between 100 and 140. We've been told it's going to be 3 or 4 implements. So I think if it's 3 implements, I could do that in about 35 seconds. If it's 4 implements, I'll be in around the 45-second mark. And based on historical performances in World's Strongest Man, I think that'll put me in about second in my heat, and I'll get 3 points there. When it comes to the deadlift ladder, the second event of day 1, 300 to 400 kilos, so we're probably looking at 300, 325, 350, 375. I don't think it matters who's in my heat for this one. I'm super confident, and I think I'm well capable to run through that entire ladder. I'm not going to bother with a suit, and I'll have my figure 8s around my forearms when maybe I get to 375. Maybe I'll save it for 400, but I'll certainly be able to get through that, and I think that'll get me 4 points in that event. Next is the car walk, which is really interesting. I definitely have a little bit of apprehension on how the yoke is going to carry over to the car walk and how the tilt front to back is going to affect me. But thankfully, the yoke is something that just comes really naturally to me, and taking a practice run with the car walk, if that's possible, it's not going to burn me out or anything. It'll give me an idea of what to do. So all things being equal, again, I don't think it matters who's in my heat. If I can handle the weight distribution of the car and I can run that like I run the yoke, I don't see anyone beating me in that one. So I believe I'll get 4 points in that one as well. When it comes to the second event of day 2, so sorry, the car walk is first event of day 2. Log press for reps is the second event of day 2. It's going to be between 150 and 160 kilos. They said 150 plus or minus 10 kilos. I'd be stunned if it's 140. I'd be surprised if it's 150. So I've sort of been preparing as though it's going to be 160. I think in that I'll be able to get 7 or 8 reps, assuming again it's in 60 seconds time frame. And I think that's going to put me somewhere around seconds in my group. There's some incredible log pressers, some guys with incredible engines. Novikov's engine's incredible. Same with Martine's, moves really well. Obviously, Stoltman's, both great at log. Bobby Thompson. So you can run into a lot of buzzsaws with the overhead pressing. Usually you'll have one of those in your group, so I don't think I'll be able to win that one. But with 7 or 8 reps, I think I'll be able to secure myself a second place finish. That gives me another 3 points. Then the hold, the Hercules Hold. I can't train this one at all. I've been training grip in as many ways as possible to try to prepare for it. And my grip's quite good. I've been able to take 200 kilos, 206 kilos a hand for a walk, I'm up to about 40 seconds single arm dead hangs, which for me is as good as my grip's ever been, and really all I can expect to do in the time frame I've been given. So I think I'll come in somewhere around second in that one. I'll get 3 points. Could be worse again if you run into a guy like Mark Felix, another guy who has great grip strength. My young age definitely works against me on that one, so could get 3 points, could get 2 points, but all in all, that gives me 16 or 17 points. That's usually enough to win the group, so I believe I'm going to win my group. I'm going to be able to move on to the finals without doing the stone off. That being said, obviously you don't know who you're in a group with, and there's certainly some guys who I don't think I can beat in a full competition, but I'm very fortunate that I think the heats line up really well for me to perform and get through to the finals. Now, if I am going to the stone off, I think I'll be able to get about 3 reps of the 210 kilo stone, which is the final stone in the series. I anticipate that if I was in the stone off, I'd be in second, so the other person would have to do 5 or more, which again, you don't know who you're running into. If it's Tom Stoltman, I'd be screwed. I'd have a lot of fun and I'd lap it up, but I think I'd be at about 4 reps. Now, if that all goes to plan, fantastic. Then we're on to the finals. So, top 2 in each group go through to the finals. There's 5 groups of 6. That means 10 guys left in the finals. Day 1 of the finals is box carry into super yoke is the first event. We haven't been told how heavy the yoke is. We haven't been told how far we're going, but we have been told that the box is a knack box, a knack toolbox of some sort. So you really don't know how heavy. I'm going to assume it's going to be again, the box, you can't really anticipate how heavy that's going to be. You don't know what kind of grips you're going to have. I assume we're going to have handles on that. It'll probably be somewhere in the mid 100 kilo range, 150 kilos or so. But I think that the intent is not for anyone to fail carrying the box, so I think getting through that will be no issue. I anticipate the super yoke to be somewhere around 500 kilos, and again, I think we're going to take that for 10 meters. This event really suits me. I love the heavy yoke. I have no issue with 500 kilos, anticipating that's about what it's going to be. If that's the case, and I'm assuming correctly, I believe in that one. In the finals, I'll be able to come away first or second. That's really where my strength lies. So I've given myself 9.5 points for that, averaging out what my anticipated result will be. Next event, second event of day 1 of the finals, is 350 kilo deadlift for reps. At first I thought this was going to be a standard barbell, or it could be an axle or something like that. There's a lot of whisperings of it being a side hold and being a car deadlift. So if it's a side hold, obviously that's going to be, the number is going to be a lot higher to do well in that. So I think if it's a front hold, based on my training, I'll be able to get about 12. If it's a side hold, I anticipate being able to do about 20. And in that event, I think I could come anywhere from first to third. On average, that gets me about 9 points. I think when it comes to deadlifting in this field, I'd certainly be one of the favorites in any deadlift from the ground event. So really happy to see that one in the finals. Now, Flintstone lift. Historically, a weakness of mine. I've posted all of my Flintstone lifts, holding nothing back there. I've gotten up to 216 kilos in training. With the recovery, with the deload, feeling a bit more fresh. I think I'll be somewhere between 220 and 225 kilos, depending on jumps. I think that puts me in about third, based on what I've seen. There's some guys with incredible overhead presses and incredible behind the neck split jerks, which is a skill that, one, I don't think I can accomplish in this time frame, and two, I haven't had the ability because I don't have Olympic plates and blocks and all that. But I think we're going to see a few guys up in the 500-pound mark, up in the 230-kilo mark. I anticipate someone like Martins is going to be up in that category. I've seen him post up to 200 kilos, but I tend to believe that he's holding something back there, and he's going to show out something pretty special. Watch Tom Stoltman's video as well. He seems really confident in the Flintstone lift, so I assume he's going to be up in the 500-pound range as well. So I think that puts me somewhere around third if I can hit 220 or 225 kilos. So that's a really good first day for me. That gives me 8 points in the Flintstone lift, 9 points in the deadlift, and 9.5 points in the knack medley, which is fantastic. The second day is where, for me, there's a lot of question marks. So first of all, the bust pull. I've never done a harnessed arm over arm pull before. So inexperience is going to come through there. I hope that I can bring my athleticism into it as much as possible. I'm a lighter guy, which works against me, but I have pretty good static strength, which works for me. My endurance is pretty good, that works for me. So I really don't know. I put myself in the middle of the pack here based on physical characteristics and lack of experience. So I'm giving myself about 5 points in that. And to be perfectly honest, that's probably a bit generous for where I would anticipate myself to be. But I'm sort of just backing myself on that one. I've done plenty of things before that I've never tried in terms of strongman and been able to rock up and make it work on the day. So I'll be intently watching the other guys, what they do, and hopefully I can pull that together and come somewhere in the middle of the pack and not lose too many points. So I'm anticipating somewhere around 5 points for that. Second event of day 2 is the power stairs, 200 to 275 kilos. We're going to have to go up 3 stairs, I believe. But this is a pretty good event. Those weights are really heavy for the power stairs. When I've watched in the past, and they've done it in World's Strongest Man, they've gone up to about 220 kilos for reference. So it's going to be a fair effort, but it's sort of deadlifting over and over and over. So duck walk, I've got up to about 250 kilos, 20 meters, no drop. So I don't think the duck walk into the power stair is going to be an issue. Getting up the stairs, moving quickly, keeping the endurance. I've done my best to train for it, but it's sort of to be determined at that stage. And by then you're through several days of competing, several events, and how your body's going to hold up is you're not going to be able to anticipate that till you're in the actual competition. And the final event, as always, Atlas Stones. Atlas Stones are going to be away from the platform, so we have to get the stone up, walk it in, and then load it. I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue in terms of the walking, but for me, I've had a lot of issues in the past with making sure that my tacky is on correctly, making sure my tacky stays through all the stones. So what I've done to prepare for this comp is I've done a heap of work without any tacky at all. And this is partially circumstantial because I don't have the ability to use tacky with my current setup. But I've gotten up to the 160 kilo stone without chalk, without tacky, without belt grip. So I'm hoping that carries over enough, and I'm hoping by that stage my body's holding up enough that I could run through those stones without too many issues. The strength for the final stone, 210 kilos, that's not a problem under normal circumstances, but obviously at that stage of the competition, the circumstances are so abnormal, it's tough to make a prediction, but a few guys certainly have me beat on that one. There's a few great stone lifters, Max, Tom, obviously. Martins moves really well. So I think I'm going to come somewhere in the middle of the pack, but I think athleticism will show through. Physical characteristics will show through. My recovery has been awesome throughout the whole prep, so I think my body will be in good shape. And I think I'll definitely get all 5 stones. And that already puts you in the top 5 based on historical performances. So I'm giving myself 4 points on that one. All in all, that gives me 35.5 points in the finals. I think that puts me somewhere between 3rd and 6th based on where that's been in the past. There are so many assumptions here. It's almost unfair to even do a prediction, but I know a lot of people like to watch these. A lot of people like to speculate, and I'm not afraid to put out there what I think I'm capable of. So I think this year I'm going to come low middle of the pack in the finals, or high middle of the pack in the finals. So somewhere around 4th place. If I go out, I stay healthy, I perform how I think I will, and I don't let the gravity of the situation get to me, and I don't feel the pressure too much. And yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting opportunity. That being said, if you run into someone like a Trey Mitchell and a Martins in the heats, there's every chance that you don't get through. So a lot of this is left to chance. A lot of this is left to a little bit of luck and things going your way. And sometimes it's determined by inches. It's determined by 1 rep. And we can all do these and hope that we go out there and execute. But until you do, It's really just speculation and thoughts, and thoughts really aren't worth much. So, to be honest, with my businesses and with my training at the moment, I think at Worlds it'll be rejuvenated in a sense. I'll be able to get to bed at a proper time. I'll be able to get up at a proper time. The food will be consistent and taken care of, I assume. And I don't think I'm going to have too much of an issue being able to pull up day after day. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting around the guys. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, seeing what the community of strongman is like at the top level. I anticipate it's going to be as pleasant as it is at the local level. And I'm really excited to get out there. So that's what I think for the events. That's where I think I'm going to stand. Could be better, could be worse. And if I got out there, even in my debut, if I make the finals, I'll be really happy with that performance. If I come third in a really strong group, I'll be happy with that performance as well. You kind of got to work within your own capabilities, and I'm not going to beat myself up because Novikov and Maxime Boudreau beat me. I mean, they're fantastic strongmen. So those are my thoughts. And 13 days out, fly out in 9 days. Really look forward to it. Look forward to see Sacramento. Look forward to getting out to San Francisco, I hope, and Alcatraz, and spend a little bit of time with some of the strongest men on the planet. So that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in Sacramento.